Beneath our feet lies a hidden lifeline, groundwater. For decades, it has quietly sustained our homes, our industries, and even our food. Yet this lifeline is vanishing, drop by drop. As cities grow and demands multiply, groundwater is being extracted faster than nature can replenish it. What was once thought to be an endless reserve is now a shrinking, fragile resource. Groundwater depletion in cities is not just a problem for tomorrow, it is a looming crisis today. The question we must ask is, are we paying attention before it is too late? Groundwater depletion in cities, looming crises beneath our feet. To understand this crisis, we must first understand what groundwater really is. Unlike rivers or lakes that we see on the surface, groundwater is stored beneath the earth. It collects in soil pores, sand, gravel, and fractured rocks, forming natural storage systems called aquifers. When it rains, a portion of that water seeps underground through a process called infiltration. Over time, aquifers recharge and provide us with water that is often cleaner and more reliable than surface sources. Globally, about 2 billion people rely directly on groundwater for drinking water. Nearly 40% of the world's irrigated agriculture is sustained by it. In urban areas, groundwater has silently fueled growth. It has supplied industries, supported construction, and filled gaps when municipal water systems fell short. But unlike surface water, groundwater is invisible. We cannot see when it is being overdrawn, and by the time warning signs appear, the damage is often severe. Cities are engines of growth, and engines consume resources at an extraordinary pace. With rapid urbanization, municipal water supply often struggles to keep up. Pipelines may not reach every household. Water treatment plants are limited. Distribution systems leak and waste large volumes. In such situations, groundwater becomes the fallback source. From individual bore wells in houses to massive private tanker networks supplying apartments, groundwater fills the gap. Take the example of Delhi. Over half of its water needs are met by drawing from the ground. In Chennai, close to 90% of private water comes from bore wells. Bangalore too is drilling deeper and deeper to reach water as shallow aquifers dry up. This story repeats itself in cities across Asia, Africa, and Latin America. But this dependence comes at a cost. Aquifers that took centuries to fill are being emptied in just a few decades. And unlike a tank that refills when rain comes, many aquifers recharge very slowly. The imbalance between extraction and recharge is creating a dangerous deficit. The warning signs are already visible. Wells that once reached water at 20 feet now must be drilled 200 feet or more. Groundwater levels in some Indian cities are dropping by more than 1 meter every year. A 2018 study by Niti Aayog warned that 21 Indian cities including Bengaluru, Chennai, and Hyderabad were on the verge of running out of groundwater. Globally, cities like Beijing, Mexico City, and Los Angeles are also witnessing rapid depletion. The United Nations projects that by 2030, global demand for fresh water will exceed supply by 40%. This is not a faraway problem. It is an urgent one. What happens when the hidden reserves beneath our feet disappear? The consequences are profound. First, water scarcity. As groundwater declines, cities face acute shortages. Tanker prices soar. Residents queue for hours to collect water. Poorer communities suffer the most, unable to afford alternatives. Second, land subsidence. When too much water is pumped out, the ground above collapses, literally sinking cities. Mexico City has sunk more than 9 meters in the last century. Parts of Jakarta are sinking so fast that large sections may be underwater in a few decades. Third, surface water depletion. Rivers, lakes, and wetlands are often connected to underground aquifers. When groundwater is drained, surface water also diminishes. Lakes vanish, rivers shrink, harming ecosystems and biodiversity. Fourth, saltwater intrusion. In coastal cities, over-extraction creates a vacuum that draws seawater into freshwater aquifers. Once this happens, the water becomes too salty to drink or use for farming. Cities like Chennai and Manila already face this threat. And finally, social and economic disruption. Industries close, agriculture declines, and conflicts over water rise. Water stress can destabilize entire communities. When the taps run dry, daily life itself comes to a halt. The crisis is not theoretical. It is already unfolding. In Chennai, India, the summer of 2019 was devastating. Reservoirs dried, bore wells ran empty, and millions were left scrambling for tanker water. It was called Day Zero, the day the city nearly ran out of water. In Mexico City, relentless pumping has caused the city to sink drastically. Historic buildings lean at odd angles, streets crack, infrastructure designed decades ago is failing. In Cape Town, South Africa, the city had to introduce strict water rationing, limiting residents to just 50 liters per person per day. The fear of reaching day zero forced citizens to completely change how they use water. These examples are stark reminders: if it can happen there, it can happen anywhere. Yet, amid the crisis, solutions do exist. Cities can act, and some already are. Rainwater harvesting is one of the simplest and most effective methods. By capturing rain where it falls, on rooftops, streets, and open grounds, we can recharge aquifers and reduce dependence on bore wells. Cities like Bengaluru have made rainwater harvesting mandatory in new buildings. Wastewater recycling is another solution. Instead of letting treated wastewater flow unused, it can be diverted for industrial use, gardening, or even retreated for drinking in extreme cases. Singapore's New Water program is a global example, turning wastewater into a high-quality, safe resource. Strict groundwater regulation is also essential. Unregulated drilling of bore wells must be controlled, usage must be monitored, and over-extraction penalized. Urban planning reforms can integrate water-sensitive design, green rooftops, permeable pavements, and restored wetlands that allow water to seep underground, and perhaps most importantly, community awareness. Every citizen must value water, fix leaks, reuse water, and adopt conservation habits. Change begins at the household level, but scales up when entire cities act together. Groundwater depletion is a silent crisis. Because we cannot see it, we tend to ignore it until it is too late. But make no mistake, our cities cannot survive without water. The challenge is immense, but so is our capacity to adapt. Each drop saved today is a promise for tomorrow. Each recharge system built is an investment for generations to come. We often say that water is life. If that is true, then protecting groundwater is protecting life itself. The wells beneath us are running dry, but our determination to act can refill them. The choice is ours, to wait for a crisis, or to build resilience now. Because in the end, the future of our cities depends not on the skylines we build above, but on the invisible lifelines we protect below.